Under the most adverse climatic conditions, a very special and unique bird managed to survive. It was the ostrich. The largest vegetarian bird in the world, a powerful and flexible bird. It does not fly but walks. It runs and dances on the snow-covered meadows of the north with the same ease as it does this on the hot sand of the tropical desert. The common ostrich, or simply ostrich, is a species of large flightless bird native to certain large areas of Africa. It is one of two extant species of ostriches. The largest living bird, an adult male, may be 2.75 meters, about 9 feet tall. Almost half of its height is neck, and weigh more than 150 kilograms, 330 pounds. The female is somewhat smaller. The male is mostly black but has white plumes in the wings and tail. Females are mostly brown. The head and most of the neck, reddish to bluish in color, is lightly downed. There are two living species of ostrich, the common ostrich and the Somali ostrich. With the ability to run at 70 km per hour, 43.5 miles per hour, they are the fastest birds on land. They are large flightless birds of Africa who lay the largest eggs of any living land animal. It is farmed worldwide, particularly for its feathers, as they are used as decoration and feather dusters. Its skin is also used for leather products. The ostrich reaches its breeding maturity at the age of 2 to 3 years. They mate only during a specific period of the year, which starts in spring and ends about the middle of autumn. The egg-laying period of the ostrich starts very early in spring and continues for about 8 months, and depends on good nourishment and good weather conditions. The female ostrich after mating starts laying eggs and gives birth every 2 days, since the full development of the egg takes 48 hours. The ostrich is said to lay eggs up to the age of 50. Under natural conditions, a female ostrich lays 12 to 18 eggs. Under farm conditions, young females produce 10 to 20 eggs in the first year, and from 40 to 130 eggs annually, most often 40 to 60 eggs, in subsequent years. The ostrich's egg, averaging about 150 mm in length by 125 mm in diameter, and about 1.35 kg, is also the world's largest. Ostrich eggs are the size of a melon, are white or beige, and their surface is sometimes shiny, sometimes matte. Eggs should be collected soon after they are produced to avoid breakage. The eggs should be taken away as soon as possible, since if they're left at the hatching place, they're exposed to dangers of infection. After the eggs are picked, they're given a number and recorded. They're subsequently washed, disinfected. And put in trays in order to dry, and the following day, the air chaser is marked. Afterwards the eggs are weighed one by one and given an identification number, which makes it possible to monitor the production process from the egg to the final product. They're then taken to the incubator, where they remain for 39 days. They revolve 90 degrees, 4 to 6 times a day, with the air chamber upturned. The upturning of the eggs prevents the embryo from getting stuck to the membranes of the egg shell in the first stage of incubation. On the 42nd day hatching begins. They usually hatch without help within 12 hours after the cracking of the shell of the first eggs by nestling, which begin to twitter. The nestling after hatching are left in the incubator for 3 to 4 hours in order to dry, and are taken to the breeding place and confined within circular place. If the chick is rushed, the navel may not have properly closed. An infected navel frequently leads to a dead chick. Before a chick leaves the hatcher, the navel should be checked to see that it is properly closed, and then should be treated with a 7% iodine solution to guard against infection. A second treatment 2 or 3 days later may be necessary. After the first week the navel should be checked again. If a dried umbilical attachment is still present, looking like a large coarse hair, it should be pulled from the navel and the area treated with iodine a third time. If this procedure is not followed, the risk of navel and yolk sac infections may be increased. Feeding the newly hatched chicks properly is important to a healthy start in life. Chicks should not be fed for 3 to 5 days in order for them to lose some of the edema that may be present, and to encourage the body to utilize the yolk sac that is drawn into the body just before hatching. The yolk sac is nature's way of providing for early nutritional needs and also some passive immunity that may help the chicks successfully survive challenges from diseases later in life. When feed is offered to the chicks, it should be a commercial ration formulated for the specific needs of the chicks, or a custom mixed ration that has also been specifically formulated for the chicks. The addition of other items to the diet is probably not necessary, and will only increase feeding costs of the chicks. One possible exception is the feeding of chopped fresh alfalfa. Ostrich chicks seem to like fresh alfalfa, and it should not be detrimental unless available in large quantities. Large amounts may encourage the chicks to overeat and become impacted. When selecting a ration for ostrich chicks, it is suggested that a low protein, less than 20%, and a high fiber, more than 15%, feed be used. A ration of this type should meet the chick's needs, but not result in a growth rate rapid enough to cause leg problems due to extra weight. The body weight observed at 1 month and 18 months was 3.8 kilograms and 118 kilograms respectively. The ostrich will grow to adulthood. In 18 months, they weigh about 1 kilogram when born, and in the space of 18 months grow to an incredible size of about 120 kilograms. The weight gain in ostriches showed steady rise from third month, 35 to 40 kilograms. As ostriches are the largest birds in the world, they have the largest eyes of any bird in the world, measuring at 5 centimeters in diameter from front to back. The ostrich eye is 5 times bigger than the human eye and any other land animal. They have long eyelashes to prevent sand entering, and when they close their eyes, the lower lid moves upwards. There is also a nictitating membrane inside, moving like a windscreen wiper, to keep the eye clean and moist. The weight at 12 months of age was 104 kg. At sexual maturity, 2 to 4 years, male common ostriches can be from 2.1 to 2.8 meters in height, while female common ostriches range from 1.7 to 2 meters tall. The ostrich will grow to adulthood in 18 months. They weigh about 1 kilogram when born, and in the space of 18 months grow to an incredible size of about 120 kilograms. The female ostrich will start laying eggs when she is about 2 years old. The incredible thing is that in nature they can live as long as 60 years. Animals that usually grow to maturity in a short space of time also have a relatively short lifespan. Dogs and cats are easy examples of this. Elephants will only be fully grown when they are about 20 years old but can live as long as 100 years in nature. With ostriches it is almost a paradox in the sense that they grow quickly but live long. Ostriches are truly different and amazing. Ostrich feed. A good ostrich feed should have forage to provide quality fiber, alfalfa, grain for energy, maize or corn. Other natural additives such as amino acids, yeast for fiber for example, alfalfa comes in various protein levels. It is recommended that you can get alfalfa as fed of at least 18%. A higher quality alfalfa has so many better characteristics, such as improved digestibility, higher vitamin and mineral content, to that say of one of lesser quality. Equally for maize, a farmer should strive to obtain 8% protein, as opposed to the lower quality of 6%. Soya normally comes as 44% or 47%, where the 44% contains soya hulls. Ostrich eggs have more sweet buttery taste and are a bit more intense when compared to other eggs. On average, one ostrich egg has around 47% protein and almost 2,000 calories. Ostrich eggs have a lot of B12 vitamin, riboflavin, and folic acid. Athletes often choose ostrich eggs because they are rich in omega-3 fiber, and they are the best choices for body growth due to the high amounts of calcium, zinc, and manganese. On an average, ostrich egg weighs around 3 to 4 pounds, 1.36 kilograms to 1.81 kilograms. Ostrich is like premium beef in taste and texture when it comes to the combination of great taste and healthy eating. Ostrich is truly one of the most superior meats. It's even lower in fat than white meat, chicken or turkey. The optimal age for slaughtering ostriches is 12 to 14 months for the African black subspecies, and 10 to 12 months for the subspecies red neck, blue neck, as well as for crossbred ostriches. This is the time when these birds present the best meat, leather, and feather quality. The average ostrich, typically butchered at 14 months of age, will produce about 75 to 130 pounds of meat. Ground ostrich meat ranges from $10 to $15 per pound, with fillets at $25 to $50 per pound and tenderloins upwards of $50 per pound. At the average wholesale price of $20 per pound, that's a minimum of $1,500 per bird. At the 12th World Ostrich Congress, held in October 2005 in Madrid, an average estimation of the number of ostriches reared in the countries of the world is made. According to the rough estimation, 350,000 birds were slaughtered in 2005. South Africa dominates with 43%, 150,000 birds that were slaughtered. The next is China with 50,000, Zimbabwe with 20,000, Brazil, USA and Israel with 10,000 birds, Hungary with 8,000, Spain with 7,000, Philippines with 5,000. The average live weight of ostriches was 103.72 kilograms, slaughtered weight 51.33 kilograms and dressing percentage 49.49%. The participation of separate by-products in live weight of ostrich was: head 0.7%, skin 8.19%, legs 3.93%, liver 1.48%, lungs 0.57%, heart 0.97%. Full gizzard 8.46%, empty gizzard 4.39%, full intestines 10.96%, esophagus and trachea 0.46% and abdominal fat 4.23%. Carcass length was 74.92 cm and thigh length 76.92 cm. Circumference of thigh 62.83 cm and the length of the neck was 81.33 cm.